Right, so I regularly get emails from people going, I'm not quite sure if I should take the Venture or the Expedition or the Rapide. So, which DX Commander in 2025? So, let's distill this down into the two styles. Okay, we've got the Signature Series. It's a heavier pole, more expensive, generally for permanent only use. And then we get the Classic Series. So, we got the 10, Classic 10, we call it. We've got the Expedition and we've got the Rapide. Right, so let's start off right at the top level. Oh, and here's Wendy and the dogs just come in. Right at the top level, we've got the Signature 18. Now, it's quite an expensive antenna, but you get a lot of stuff with it. Lockie, off the top of your head, do you know how much the 18 is?
$599.
$599. But with that, you get the 18-metre pole. You get some really nice... This is the plate sets here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really heavy, spreader plates, alloys, stainless nuts, bolts, washers. We get 3 rolls of... Is it 3 rolls of DX10? Get 3 of these with it, which is plenty enough for all your elements and a ton of radials. Okay. Now, the only thing I'd say with the 18, it's generally a 2-man install. When Lockie and I put up one, we really, one guy holds one side of the telescopic piece, the other guy holds the other one, and then we really pull and twist, all right? Doing it yourself can be a bit of a stretch. And you need some sort of hinge at the bottom or somebody standing, at the bottom so you can lift it up. So that's the 18. And that does 80 as a quarter wave and all the other bands, including 60 as well. Right, so that's the 18. Next one down from there is kind of my favourite. It's the 12.4. So 12.4, we managed to lever every band completely, including a kind of a 5/8, three-quarter wave for 10 metres. Now, how much is the 12?
$499.
$499. Okay, so basically you get everything the same. It's just the pole's a little bit less expensive. Do we still get 3 of these?
Indeed.
Yeah. So that's fine. And we've intentionally made the plates a slightly different shape, frankly, so we don't get confused. It does the same thing, look, obviously. The 80-metre element is obviously, it's only 12.4 metres long only. It's still in orbit. Works well. I've crossed the Atlantic on SSP. Not quite sure if I've got Rolly or VK on SSP on 80, But the coil is about 60% up. And that actually loads us up on 30 metres as well. So 30 metres and 80 metres on one element, and then another 6 elements to take you all the way up to 10. And then probably the biggest seller is the Signature 9. It was the only one that had... It's guyless, right? Signature 9 is completely guyless. So we supply a ground post. We've probably not got one knocking around in this part if we're lucky. You dig it into the ground between 30 centimetres, 1 foot, and 45 centimetres, 18 inches. About half the pole, all right? Just get it in the ground and a bag of concrete or whatever. And you'll get all the bands on quarter waves from 40 up to 10. That works on 6 as well. Sometimes the SWR is about 2-1. In fact, I ran one the other day. It was on an Expedition, but it was the same element set on 6 metres. Made 8 contacts in half an hour, so on SSB, which was a bit of a laugh.
Golf 7 Whiskey Hotel India Portable.
Golf 7 Whiskey Hotel India Portable. It's amazing. I'm a ground-mounted 6-metre antenna. So Signature 9. So they're the Signature. That's the kind of premium end, all right? Where DX Commander started was what we called a classic, okay? So that's slightly more economical. So we start off with we'll call it what do we call it? A 10-metre classic?
40 metre. Oh.
Yeah, it's a 10 it's called a 10-metre pole, but the reality is it's about 9.3 metres long. That is currently retailing with one of these, which we call a 40 to 10, at how much?
$299.
$299. Okay, so, and you get a roll of this, and that is enough to make all the elements and put a reasonable amount of radials out. And by the way, radials only need to be 7 foot long, or 2 or less, to be honest, right? And you can put it in the corner of a garden or the backyard, and just put all your radials out on 90 degree. But this isn't a how-to, this is a what is, right? So that's the signature classic. Now that's ideally guide, okay? Don't over-guide these things. Let them flay about in the wind, okay? They're happier like that. The more guys you put on, the more weird stuff's going to happen. So taking a copy of that 10, we can convert it into a 7. We call that the Rapide, all right? So we can still get 40 metre on the Rapide, but you'll lose 30. Or you don't need 40 and you can put on 30. And we don't supply a coil on that. You just wind a little coil halfway between the driven plate and the first guide point. And the Rapide is currently, there's two styles of Rapide. You can either buy it with the ground post or without. Without the ground post,
249.
249.
And with 289.
And 289 with the ground post. But that is, you're up into classic 10 territory, but what you're getting is a smaller footprint, great for HOA, things like that. And then we've got the Expedition. Now, the Expedition is, I believe, is that an Expedition wrapped?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is an Expedition wrapped, okay? So it's a lot smaller, so it's suitcaseable. And if you're after a really, really small footprint, the Expedition's ideal. And you can build that in 3 versions. Well, 2 versions, really. You can build it with 3 elements or 6 elements. If you build it with 6, you'll find the element lengths are very tiny bit different. By the way, I'm a kind of... I don't like using the ATU if I can help it, right? So all these are without ATU. Build it with 6 elements. I did a build video the other day. I'll put the link in the description. And in there are my latest kind of very, very accurate lens. You don't get 30 on the Expedition. But after this video, I'm just about to build an Expedition with 80, an inverted L. So look for that video, inverted L. And the Expedition is currently retailing at
$299.
$299. You may be watching this video at the time where we've got a deal on the Expedition, which is free shipping worldwide at that price, okay? A limited offer, really to help out our New Zealand, Australia friends, and some people worried in the US about tariffs. Free shipping, you pay $299 and you'll get it tariff-free in the US because it's under $800. And then I wanted a super economical antenna, and we came up with what we call the Venture. So the Venture is based basically on the Rapide, the 7-metre pole, and it has a really interesting footprint plate set. So to save money, we use white spreaders. Well, I'll put it there against my blue, and they're very, very small. It's a 3-element system, and with a small stab of the ATU, you get all the other bands. And I went out couple of weeks ago in the hills and had a lot of fun. That'll also handle QRO. So on all these will handle 1500 watts. If you're doing FT8 on 1500 watts, I suggest you go and see a doctor. 200-300 watts on FT8 is all you need, I promise you. Anything I've missed, Lockie?
I don't think so.
Shall I talk about shipping briefly?
Yeah.
So we use UPS, and what happens, and this is what Lockie's actually doing right now, he's preparing, in the morning he comes in, prepares the labels. UPS turn up at roughly what time these days?
2 p.m.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they get shipped. So if you were ordering the US last night, the chances are, not on a Friday, because it's a Friday when I'm recording this, but Lockie will prepare the label, leave it out for the UPS man.
There's not too many orders.
As long as there's not too many orders, thank you, Lockie. Because if 100 people order, we can't do 100 in a day, And the maximum is probably 20 to 30 in ideally. He arrives at 2 o'clock, ships it, and normally 50, 60, 70% of the time, are they getting it the next day in the US? You don't know. We think it's certainly 48 hours or better. In the main. Okay, that's not guaranteed. And I think that is about it. All right, we're in a heat wave at the moment, so Wendy and I are going to go out to the field, sort the dogs out, and meanwhile, from Lockie and me, have a jolly good day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll both see you next time. Bye for now.